What's up to all my party people, and welcome to Stoniecast number 115 and season 4, episode 13 of Thoughts and Hunches, Making Money in Bunches and Sucker Punches. It's your boy Stony coming back at you for the 115th time. And I'd like to welcome all of my fellow hoodlums, scumbags, lowlife, shady characters, anybody named Phil Mickelson, altar boys with unhealthy relationships with their priests, priests with unhealthy relationships with their altar boys, hustlers, cheats, foul-mouthed raging alcoholics, friends and family of the gooch, fienders with abusive language, and degenerates. Let's face it, basically anybody with a gambling problem. If you're new to the show, hey, that means you probably fit into one or a few of those categories. So welcome, because you're one of us. One of us, gooba gobble, one of us, we accepted, one of us. Hey, I digress. Make sure to hit the subscribe button right down here in the lower right-hand corner. That way you can get notified every time I put out a new video. To spread the word, that's also very easy. All you got to do is tell other scumbags that you know to go to YouTube and enter Thoughts and Hunches in the search bar. That'll take you directly to my page so you can get dialed into everything that I give you. Also, if you're new and you don't know what's with this channel, it's college and pro football winners, MLB playoff winners, which is over now, and college basketball winners. I give you my picks to get you to the window with a ticket to cash. The books don't expect a guy like me to deliver this many winners. I'm an outlier and a disruptor. I'm like the Beastie Boys. Step into the party, disrupt the whole scene. It's what I do. Now, before I get to the picks, I have a few thoughts and programming notes as usual. Let me start with college hoops and their coaches. What is it with the way that these guys dress? What happened to coaches who dress up on game day? I don't mean to be the get off my lawn guy or the life was better in my time guy. But I grew up in a time with Lou Carnesecca's famous sweaters, Rolly Massimino's disheveled suit, John Thompson's suit with the ominous white towel over his shoulder, Jay Wright and Rick Pitino's custom Italian suits, Bobby Knight's iconic red sweater. These guys dressed up on game day. Nowadays, they all wear the same warm-ups that their players wear. I get that it might be more about comfortability nowadays, but what about dressing the part? Yes, Rick Pitino still wears his suits. And Mick Cronin of UCLA, my guy, who used to wear warm-ups, now wears custom suits. And his reasoning is, and I quote, "If you're fortunate enough to sit in the same chair that John Wooden sat, you should dress like he did everything with class." Even John Calipari at Kentucky, who used to wear suits at UMass and Memphis, now usually wears warm-ups. Last night he didn't. He actually wore a suit with no tie, with the shirt, like this. But he was up against Bill Self. Bill Self was in warm-ups. I just don't get it, and I don't like it. Next up, ESPN Stanford Steve. I mean, come on. What is it with this guy? He is now a crowd-pleasing 18 wins, 28 losses, and 2 ties on the season, and is getting a big salary from the Disney folks for his great picks against the spread on ESPN's College Game Day. That's pathetic. Obviously, he's never seen Thoughts and Hunches from your boy Stoney to get him on the right path. I mean, ridiculous. And finally, this Jim Harbaugh nonsense. I mean, I just have to touch this. Yes, Ohio State fans, I said nonsense is exactly that. What the Big Ten is doing to him is kowtowing to the mob, primarily the other coaches in the Big Ten, to prevent the best team in the nation from fulfilling their destiny, and that's winning the national championship. Suspending him from the sidelines for the remainder of the regular season does nothing more than piss off Harbaugh and make his team play even harder. Did you see his interview on Monday? He's trolling the Big Ten and the NCAA by calling his team America's team. And his arrogance was on full display in the second half of Michigan's beatdown of Penn State on Saturday by not even attempting a pass in the second half. Yeah, he wasn't there on the sidelines, but you know that he had a direct line to his coaching staff to send a message by dominating Penn State without throwing a pass. Now, as a 49er fan, I know all about Harbaugh and his ego. But he's coming around now to me. Ohio State fans are furious. And they're saying the reason Michigan has kicked their asses the last few years is because of the sign stealing. Really? And that Jim Tressel was fired because of Ohio State's tattoo scandal, which they deem as nothing compared to what Harbaugh's done now. Really? It's pathetic, Ohio State fans. Get over it. Ugh. Now, as for the week that was, college football last week never really gave me a breather. I was 6-4 through Friday, which I'll take, but Saturday was a disappointing 11-13. So 17-17 on the week for college football is certainly not putting my best foot forward, and my percentage for the season will take a tumble on that. But if that's considered a losing week, then I'll gladly take that. All I did was get juiced. But I did hit the degenerate special again, which, if played correctly, made up for the other losses. The degenerate special, just as a refresher, is the quote, late night get right, or the degenerate special, the last game on the board for Saturday night. So if you had a rough day, you got that one game at the end of the night to make up all your money heading into Sunday. And that's, if it was played correctly, then that's what it did, because I hit it again last week, right? Now, college hoops was a rough go for the week, as I had a losing record for the first 3 days of the week, but a 14-7 Friday turned the tides. Sunday's 8-5 certainly helped to get me back on track. While week one was not great, it was salvageable, and that's exactly what I did. I salvaged the week in college hoops. And I'm just betting too many games, right? I bet 90 games or some odd like that. It was crazy how many college basketball games that I gave to you. And that's just too many. So I'm going to start lowering the count now and, try to get the number down to a more manageable number, right? But for the fourth straight week, though, the story is the NFL. Now, I mean, come on. I didn't think it was possible to do any better than how I've been doing. But how's 11-3 sound? How does that suit you? What I've been doing to the NFL is just stupid, as I'm officially making the NFL my bitch. 42-14-2 over a 4-week stretch? That's 75%. That's not even fair. This run that I'm on has to be one of the greatest runs for someone that posts all of their picks unedited 4 days before Sunday and still delivering 75%. It's unprecedented. Here's the kicker. For the third straight week, I hit the Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night NFL games. And in case you're wondering, that was my 9th straight winning week. Yeah, you're welcome. Here are the numbers for the week. Overall, total last week, 71 wins, 57 losses. That's a total of 55.47%. 80 hoops picks put us well over 120 for the week. But the NFL wins the week again. NCAA football for the season, 191 wins, 142 losses, 3 pushes, 57.36%. The numbers went down after the 17-17 week, but I'm still at a more than respectable 57% on the season. NFL, come on. 97 wins, 55 losses, 2 pushes, 63.81% on the season. Numbers going through the roof. NCAA hoops, first week, 55 wins, 44 losses, 55%. It's too many picks. I'm going to slow down and be more selective. But that's only after 1 week. And overall, all 12 weeks, every video I've given you so far this season, 398 wins, 277 losses, 7 pushes, 58.96%. Just basically 59%, just under 59%. Too many hoops picks watered down my numbers. Otherwise, I'd be well into the 59s. You're welcome. I mean, just remember that all of these picks are 100% free for all the touts that are giving you 75 to 80% winners. Come on. We all know that you're full of shit, so stop doing it. Plus, you're charging for these picks. I mean, with me, just come to YouTube every week and I'll drop my plays on you for free. You can also follow me on X at Stony Woods, STONIE Woods. I gave you yesterday's picks in the comments section of last week's video, and I wound up going 1-2 in college football, #Maction. But I delivered the best day of college hoops yet this season, and that was 8-2. I mean, really, after I hit the last 6 in a row. So it's definitely a good start to the week. I mean, I'll take 9-4 every single day. So that's a good start. Let's get started this week. Ready? Here we go. NCAA football, Maction style, starting tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN2. I'm going to roll with Miami of Ohio at home, -9.5 over Buffalo. Also tonight at 7 Eastern, the Maction rolls on ESPNU. Give me Central Michigan +8.5 at Ohio. If you haven't been watching college hoops, you've been missing out. Last night was a prime example where Duke and Michigan State played in Game 1, while Kansas and Kentucky played in Game 2. Not to mention there was Iowa-Creighton. There was great matchups. I love these early season tests that these teams face before conference play begins next month. This is great. No other sport does this, right? Let's get it going tonight. You ready? 7 Eastern on ACC Network. Give me Richmond +4.5 on the road at Boston College. 7 Eastern, I like Princeton +5.5 at Duquesne. 7 Eastern, I'm on Central Michigan +16.5 at South Florida. 7:30 Eastern, give me Cornell +2.5 at George Mason. 8 Eastern, I'll take Stony Brook +15.5 at Nebraska, because why not? You got to take a school with the name Stony in it this time of year. I mean, come on. 8:30 Eastern, I'll take my first favorite of the day after all those dogs I just gave you. And it's Rutgers, -9.5 at home over Georgetown. 9 p.m. Eastern, I like Rice, +20.5 at Texas. And finally, at 10 Eastern, give me Nevada at home, -12.5 versus Pacific. That's 9 college hoops picks, two favorites, 7 dogs. To go along with the 10 that I gave you last night, right? 8 winners. To keep the groove rolling. Just got to keep it rolling. Moving on to tomorrow. We got one NCAA football matchup, 7 Eastern on ESPN at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle. I'm going to take Boston College here, +1.5 on the road over Pittsburgh. We got NFL tomorrow night. That's right, Thursday night, Amazon, and we've actually finally get a good one. Baltimore is the site where the Ravens are 3-point home chalk over the Bengals. Both teams lost games last week in which they were both touchdown favorites, and I lost on both of them. Those were 2 of my 3 losses last week. But I'm going to take Baltimore here at home because I don't see them dropping 2 straight at home. Ravens -3. And here, do the Ravens play every game at home? I think they do. They just don't. It just seems like they're never on the road. It's weird. 3rd straight game at home. Anyway, Ravens -3. Tomorrow's NCAA hoops and all other hoops matchups, not counting tonight's, will be in the comments section. So check back for those starting probably maybe late tonight or tomorrow. All right. If I don't post them late tonight, then they'll go tomorrow around this time, same time. All right. I'll try to get the picks to you around 4:30 or 5 Eastern time, depending on the start times. All right. Also, Friday night. All right, let's move on. Friday night NCAA football. We'll start in San Antonio at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Give me South Florida here on the road, catching 15.5 at Texas San Antonio. Also Friday night, 10:30 Eastern on FS1 in Pullman. I'm on Washington State at home here, laying 5.5 over Colorado. Where's Michael Irvin? Where's all these guys who are showing up on Dion's sidelines back in week 2 and week 3? Excuse me. Where are they? Where have they been hiding? Maybe it's because Colorado is not nearly as good as the media hyped them out to be at the start of the season, which we all knew. But it is what it is. And the same thing with USC. Where's Snoop Dogg and Will Ferrell on the sidelines these days? Caleb Williams is crying in the corner and you guys are leaving him there. Whatever. Joke. Saturday, ready? Here we go. NCAA football. I must start with a disclaimer. This is the famous week of the year where the SEC moves on to play tomato cans. So don't expect any picks from me on these disastrous games. Let's get started, though, at noon Eastern on Big Fox in College Park, where I'm going to roll with Michigan, minus 20.5 at Maryland. The Wolverines are on a mission, with or without Harbaugh on the sidelines, and we won't even know until Friday whether or not he'll be in College Park. Give me Michigan. Lay the hammer. It's going to be tricky. It could be a tricky game, especially with because he doesn't give a shit about covering point spreads. And if he still has a direct line to the coaches and tries to pull that shit again by running the ball, they're not going to cover. But who knows? You never know, right? Played straight up. Give me Michigan. Lay the big number. Also noon Eastern, in Miami on ESPN, I like Louisville, minus 1.5 on the road over the hapless Canes, who played well last week and covered, but couldn't take out Florida State. Give me the Cards here as the short road favorite. Canes are through. Mario Cristobal needs to be through. He's the guy that's got to go. Noon Eastern in Happy Valley on FS1. I like Penn State minus 18.5 over Rutgers. I like Rutgers. They've covered. They've made me numbers, or they've helped me cash tickets this year. As usual, Penn State over all teams not named Michigan or Ohio State is the safe play. Noon Eastern in Provo on ESPN. Oklahoma comes in as 24-point favorites, and they can score with anyone. BYU lost its way after a hot start, but Kalani Sitake is way too good of a coach to lose by 4 touchdowns at home. Give me the Cougars as the home dog. Noon Eastern on ESPN2 in Memphis. I like the hometown Tigers here, catching 8.5 against a good SMU team that will win but won't cover. 2 Eastern in Laramie. I'm all over Wyoming here as 13.5-point chalk over Hawaii because the Cowboys are just a completely different team at home. Just like Hawaii is a completely different team when you get them off the island. 2:30 Eastern in Tucson on Pac-12 Network. The suddenly red-hot Arizona Wildcats are a short 1-point home favorite over Utah, which didn't seem feasible a month ago. Yeah, Zona's been hot and Utah lost last week, but I still like the Utes here, so I'll take them on the money line. 3 Eastern in Charlottesville on the CW Network. I'm going to dance with Duke, minus 4 on the road here over Virginia after Duke lost a heartbreaker in double overtime in Chapel Hill last week. But I still covered. I had Duke. That was one of my winners. 3:30 Eastern on ESPN in Clemson. I like the Tigers at home, minus 6.5 over North Carolina, who's just another team that had a great start but has melted down the last 4 weeks. 3:30 Eastern in Blacksburg on the ACC Network. I'm on NC State, plus 2.5 on the road over Virginia Tech. 3:30 Eastern on FS1 in Iowa City. Stop and wave to the children at the Shriners Hospital. Still the greatest tradition in sports. I'm going to do it for the 3rd straight week and take the Iowa under. They're playing Illinois, and the total is 30.5. I've hit the last 2 unders with Iowa, so in the words of Roy Tin Cup McAvoy, you either ride her till she bucks you, or you don't ride at all. 3:30 Eastern on ABC in La La Land. I have no choice but to take UCLA plus 6.5 over USC in their last crosstown showdown as members of the Pac-12 before they move to the Big Ten next year, which will be, is it 16 or 18 teams next year in the Big Ten? 3:30 Eastern on CBS in Knoxville. We get a good SEC game with the 3 Fs, finally. Faith, family, and football. Georgia's a 10.5-point road favorite over Tennessee. I've been getting crushed by Georgia this season, missing on them and missing against them. Can't seem to get them right. Both these teams cost me last week, but I have to take Georgia here because if there's one thing they don't do, it's lose. Bulldogs win and cover. 3:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network in Colorado Springs. I'm going to dance with UNLV as a 3-point road dog over an Air Force squad that's just lost his way after an 8-0 start. They were exposed by Army and they got beat by Hawaii. Give me UNLV, who's red hot. 3:30 Eastern on NBC in South Bend in front of Touchdown Jesus. I'll roll with Notre Dame laying 24.5 at home over Wake Forest. Sam Hartman's going to feast over his old teammates. 4 Eastern in Columbus on Big Ten Network. Give me Ohio State minus 27.5 over an outmanned Minnesota squad 1 week before Ohio State takes on Michigan. It's a tricky spot for both Ohio State and Michigan. They're both looking ahead to next week. And they're both big favorites this week. Can they cover? I took them both. We'll see. 4 Eastern in Tempe on Big Fox. I like Oregon to curb stomp Arizona State on the road and cover the 23.5 easily after an uneven performance against USC last week, which they still won. 5 Eastern on FS2 in Lubbock. I like Texas Tech here at home, minus 2.5 over Central Florida, as now's the time to sell UCF after the performance of their season last week at the Bounce House. Lubbock is different. Raiders minus 2.5. 6:30 Eastern on Pac-12 Network in Palo Alto. The 126th big game features Cal as 6.5-point road favorites over Stanford. In their last meeting, as members of the Pac-12, just like USC, UCLA. Stanford leads the all-time series, 65 wins, 49 losses, 11 pushes. Stanford may not win, but they will get the cover here in the biggest game of their season in Silicon Valley. 7 Eastern on FS1 in Lawrence. I'm going to take Kansas State as 8.5-point road favorites here over Kansas in the Sunflower Showdown. 7:30 Eastern on ESPN in Columbia. Mizzou is playing really well right now, so I'll take the Tigers at home laying 11 over Florida, who nobody seems to trust. 7:30 Eastern in Corvallis on ABC. I'm going to dance with Oregon State here as a 1-point home favorite over Washington. Yes, I know this is a trap. Yes, Las Vegas is daring you to take unbeaten Washington. No, I'm not going to take the bait, and I'm going to take the Beavers on the money line. Plain and simple. 8 p.m. Eastern in Ames on Big Fox. I like Iowa State. They're 7.5-point home dogs against Texas, who's overrated as usual. Texas wins, Iowa State covers, probably through the back door. 10:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network in San Jose. I'm on San Diego State here as 14.5-point dogs over San Jose State, who's playing really well. San Jose State wins, San Diego State covers. And finally, the world-famous Degenerate Special, or the Late Night Get Right, which I hit again on Saturday to raise my season total to 6-5. This week's version is at 10:30 Eastern on FS1 in Fresno, and I'm going to take New Mexico plus 23.5 on the road at Fresno State to close out the college football week. That's 25 NCAA plays for Saturday, and with the 8 before Saturday, that's a total of 33 picks to keep you busy heading into Sunday. NFL Sunday? The way I'm going? Sure, why not? With how hot I've been this last month, you'd be a fool not to roll with me. So let's get it all started in Cleveland at 1 Eastern, where the Browns are 1-point home chalk over the Steelers. That line was 4, dropped to 1. Both teams are hot right now, but they both have issues. Pitt is not the same team on the road as they are at the stadium formerly known as the Giant Ketchup Bottle. Massage Watson just revealed that he's done for the season with shoulder surgery. So he's done. Give me the Steelers on the road in a game that will still be hard fought even without Massage Watson, but the Steelers have to be the play here. Although it's hard to envision Steelers winning 4 in a row. Either way, both teams are playing well. 1 Eastern in Detroit, the Lions are 10-point home favorites over the Bears. Detroit's offense is cruising right now, but their defense could be a problem, while Chicago's just a mess. They do have extra rest and the possibility of Justin Fields coming back, and he probably will. It looks like he's gonna, but who knows? Shit, the Bears don't even know. I'll lay the big number at home with the Lions. 1 Eastern at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. The Chargers come to town as 3-point road favorites over the Packers. The Chargers scored plenty, but lost to Detroit. And these are the types of games that they typically win against inferior opponents. But the Chargers are going to charge her. It's what they do. Plus, the Packers are a reverse turf home underdog, which went 2-0 last week and are now 14-8 on the season. Yep, I take them all. Give me the Pack plus 3.5. 1 Eastern in Miami. The Dolphins are a huge 11.5-point home favorite over the Raiders. Let's be honest. This is a massive mismatch. 11.5 is too many points, right? Nope. The Raiders have covered 2 straight. Miami's coming off a loss and a bye. Fins, minus 11.5. Fins win by 3 touchdowns. 1 Eastern in our nation's capital. The Commando Skins are a big 10-point favorite over the Giants. If you haven't been watching Sam Howell, he's turning into a good quarterback. If you haven't been watching the Giants, you haven't missed much. They are a complete and utter embarrassment. If it seems like I'm laying a lot of points with big favorites, it's because I am. Give me Washington, minus 10. 1 Eastern in Carolina. The Cowboys are 11-point road chalk over the Panthers. Dallas has become very predictable. Blow out bad teams, lose the good teams. All 6 of their wins are against teams with losing records. Now they get another one. This one's on the road, though. Will it matter? No. Dak Prescott's the greatest, and the media touts him as a future Hall of Famer. Give me the boys on the road and lay the lumber. It's what they do. They can't beat Philly or SF, but they can beat everyone else. 1 Eastern in Duval County. The Jaguars, not the Jaguars, the Jaguars, are 6.5-point home favorites over the Titans. Was Jacksonville exposed on Sunday by the 49ers? Maybe, possibly, probably. Either way, Tennessee is bad right now as they try to break in a rookie quarterback. Jags right the ship and cover the 6.5. Yeah, another favorite, but this one seems like a layup. This one seems easy. 1 Eastern in H-Town. The Texans are 4-point home favorites over the Cardinals. C.J. Stroud's the talk of the NFL right now, and that's for good reason. The guy has been incredible. Plus, he's up against a bad Arizona defense. Everyone loves Houston. I like the Cards and the points. 4 Eastern in the Silicon Valley at 501 Denim Jeans Stadium. The 49ers are 11-point home favorites over the Bucks. SF rolled on Sunday off a bye in Jacksonville and are now home against a bad team. With a trip to Seattle coming on Thanksgiving for the Niners, this is a classic look-ahead game. Niners win, Bucks cover. 4:25 Eastern in East New York, the Bills are back at home and 7-point favorites over the Jets in a rematch of Week 1. Remember that one? Third play of the game, Aaron Rodgers. Oh, my Achilles. Josh Allen, 3 interceptions. Ugh. Eek, I still haven't gotten over that game. Buffalo's a borderline train wreck, and they're coming off a short week right now. Though Monday's game and this game are both at home. The Jets are a mess, but always play the Bills tough, and that defense is legit. 7's a big number. I have no faith in the Jets' offense. The Bills are the play here, so that's precisely why I'm going to roll with the Jets to keep it close, exactly like Denver did on Monday night. Give me the Jets plus the number. 4:25 Eastern in Inglewood, always up to no good. The Rams are 1-point home favorites over the Seahawks. All it took was for overrated Matt Stafford to come back, and the odds makers lost their minds, making the Rams a favorite over a team that is clearly better. Seattle's the play here, so I'll take the Rams at home. Sunday night, 8:20 Eastern in the Mile High City. The Broncos are 2-point home favorites over the Vikings. Denver's 4-2 in their last 6, and they've erased the narrative about how bad they were to start the season. But using that logic, the Vikings have ripped off 5 straight, erasing their own narrative after a 1-4 start. The problem is that outside of San Francisco, the Vikings haven't beaten anyone during that run at all. I got to reluctantly take Denver here at home, even though they're coming off a short week with a cross-country flight. Broncos -2. Finally, on Monday night, Kansas City, 8:15 Eastern, we get a Super Bowl rematch with the Chiefs as 3-point home favorite over the Eagles. This is great because the week begins and ends with two great games, right? Definitely 4 playoff teams, right? And this is the matchup that everybody wants to see Philly play while they've been busy beating up on a lot of bad teams. And Kansas City is coming off a loss, right? Kansas City's come off a week following a loss to Denver, while Philly is also coming off a bye and boasts the NFL's best record. The Eagles don't awe you, but they grind you down and they take over in the second half. The Chiefs are 27-4 under Andy Reid following a bye, including the playoffs. That's all I needed to hear. Give me the Chiefs -3 to close out the week. All 14 NFL plays, along with 33 college football picks, gives us 47 total. And there's always the daily college hoops picks, which aside from this podcast, they will be posted every single day in the comments section. So keep checking back. Let's keep the pressure on and continue to cash tickets. It's what we do. Next week's video is going to come out around the same time next Wednesday on Thanksgiving Eve. Because remember, we got 3 games on Thanksgiving, NFL games, and a Friday, Black Friday NFL game. So until then, remember that if you want to win big, you got to bet big. You can't go broke taking a profit. Scared money don't make money. Now, for me, the action is the juice. There's money on the streets that can't be ignored. And finally, good luck to you. Miss you, Gooch.